Hello, everybody, and welcome to Gaming Confessions from MinnMax. MinnMax is a place about games, friends, and getting better. I would tell you who I am, but I don't think I'm supposed to in this anonymous state, so I'm joined by somebody to my right.
Hello, I'm also anonymous, even though my name is fully written out under my...
Shut up! I'm joined by somebody below me. Hello.
Hi. Are they always anonymous? Isn't it anonymity going the other way?
Oh yeah, that is the way that works. Look, I've never been in one of these things.
You know
We're
what?
also joined by our friend Muriel.
You know what? Who's to say?
Who's to say? Hey everybody, this is New Show Plus. This is happening because you weirdos voted for it over on Patreon at patreon.com/MinnMax with 2 N's. We put up a poll each and every week for what new show we create or continue. And sparked by a discussion on the MinnMax Show podcast last week, people said, we would like to confess our gaming sins of the past. And so we put that in the poll, and you all voted for it. Anybody at the $10 tier on Patreon can vote every single week for what new show we create or continue. So thanks so much for willing into existence, Gaming Confessions. Are you all ready to accept and hear these sins of gaming past from the MinnMax community?
Yeah. Is the music on the whole time?
Yeah. Have you ever been in it? Honestly, I really like it too. Thanks to our live choir behind us in the MinnMax studio for really belting out some bangers here.
We spent all of the Patreon money on this live choir, so there won't be much in the way of content for the next 8 months, but stay tuned.
They promised they were going to give a sick drop at some point too, so everyone hold on. Hey, Leftist Nerd, thanks for throwing a sub our way on Twitch. We appreciate it. If you're watching on YouTube, you can always follow us on Twitch/MinnMax Show to watch all this stuff live each and every week. All right, are you ready for the first sin? Because it goes a little something like this.
Yeah.
Tanner confesses.
Aren't they supposed to be anonymous?
For the last time.
Name them and shame them.
It's confusing. Yeah, this is more about shaming them. We're flipping the script. So this MF-er Tanner writes in and he says, hey, this isn't a particularly unique confession. Well, we'll be the judge of that. But I do feel guilty for controlling what my brother would get for birthday and Christmas for the first 12 years of his life by convincing him, hey, you know what game you would really love? Advance Wars Days of Ruin. Hey, at least they were mostly good games that I picked. What do you think about this for a gaming sin?
Did the brother end up liking the games? I think if the brother did like the games, it's okay.
Also, it's confusing. Like, if they're games that Tanner enjoys, you think he would have already played them. But maybe they're just games...
How does he know he likes them? This is the classic person in the review comments, like, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, you haven't played the game.
Right.
That's the bigger sin here.
How old was the brother? Was the brother, 6? And they're like, here's Advanced Wars. You're going to love it.
Must have been pretty young, but I think this is only really terrible. And even then, that's debatable, because you're giving good games to a good person, I'd imagine. It's only, on the scale of terrible if you are just throwing these games out there so that you can then steal them from your brother, so that you are secretly getting these games, right?
I never even thought of doing that. I didn't know that was a possibility.
Yeah.
I feel like other people might be at fault here also. Not to I think we should all take ownership for our own actions, but at the same time, what's going on with this dynamic? The family really doesn't know this kid. The kid hasn't voiced that they don't like these kids. I don't know. I think if the kid that got the gifts didn't like them, then it's jank. But if it's we're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. You know what? Actually, I'm going to go ahead and actually say it's janky. I'm going to vote jank on this one.
Yeah.
Because with them telling this story, I'm guessing that the kid maybe wasn't that interested in those games. And I do think that is jank. You have your own birthday. Yeah, I'm calling, if we're doing fair or foul for these, I'm going foul.
It's foul.
What do you, is that the way this works? Is you say fair or foul?
It can be whatever we want it to be. So I'm just throwing something out there,
I say fair. I think you're just bringing more good games into the
Fair?
world. I say
What
fair.
if his brother could have been the next best, esports player, but he couldn't get to play he couldn't play any Smash, or he couldn't play any of these other games?
What's the option, though? The alternative? You just say, hey, Mom and Dad, go to the store and buy any other game. They're gonna buy
You ask the kid what he wants.
But then that ruins the surprise. That ruins the surprise, I think.
Usually the kid has a list already.
Yeah.
I think the fact that the brothers, I knowingly, it's not convenient overlap because me and my brother shared a bunch of games, like, you know, like that was just fair game. Like we talked about like what we were trying to get and stuff, like we worked together on it. But the idea that this person's writing in and being like, I specifically got these games basically for me. They didn't mention that like, oh, it's like, it happens to be like we all want to play Mario 64 and like your birthday's just first. It's like not that situation, it seems. So
Right.
that's why it's messed up.
Straight up messed up. Okay. Well, Muriel is still debating where they land on this, so we'll let that sit for a bit. Thank you, Takashikatano, for the subs on Twitch. We appreciate it. Hello, Rock Party asking, yes, you can add them to the list if you're in the Discord. Others will be taking some bonus quick, fair fouls at the end. Crowboy confesses. Crowboy says, when I was younger, I borrowed 2 GameCube games from a friend of a friend. Phantasy Star Online, Episode 1 and 2, and Skies of Arcadia Legends. I never gave him the games back. Now, both games...
Skies of Arcadia?
Yeah. Now,
You have to give that back.
both games combined are worth around $250. This is straight up foul. By the way, people in the Twitch chat have a very
Guilty.
good take. We should do a Twitch poll. Can Janet, do you want to type that out for fair or foul for each one that we're rolling here? Yeah. Oh, hi, Kelsey Lewin, new contributor. Thanks for being here. Kelsey, if I would have known you're so interested, we could have had you jump on. Yeah,
He
this
says
is
he's not
games
giving
again?
them back.
the games. Yeah, Phantasy Star Online Episode 1 and 2 and Skies of Arcadia Legends. This person is a sicko. Says that one too. That is true. It's especially bad, like the friend of a friend, because you're really going out on
You've
a
not
limb.
only like implemented yourself in the crime, but your
Right.
friend who is the friend of the friend.
That's a very
You've
interesting
taken
wrinkle.
2 people down. We've ruined 2 friendships.
You're dragging your friend down to the bowels of your sinful nature. Also, here's something. The fact that you might still have them, you at least know that they're worth $250.
They still have them. They admitted that in chat.
Oh, really, Crowboy? Crowboy,
I
You need
feel
to-
like I'm gonna
yeah.
zag here.
Yeah.
I feel like it's okay. It's
What?
messed up.
this is fair,
But,
but
like-
giving good games to your brother is foul?
I'm gonna go fair because it's like friend of a friend. Honestly, you're lending something out to a friend of a friend. You rolling those dice. It's like I personally never lend out stuff that unless I trust the person or I'm
What?
okay not getting the thing back.
You're saying it's that's absurd. You're blaming the person who was the most generous in this situation?
And did the person ask for it back? Like I'm not getting those additional details.
It's
Maybe they
implied
just
you
didn't
give
really
it back.
care.
It's a borrowing. It's a borrow. You have to
Here's
give
the
it
thing,
back.
though. Here's the thing. Who among us have not like kept books from the library? You telling me you never just kept a book from the library?
Never.
Never.
I told y'all I've paid full retail and tax prices on so many library books. Now the nice thing is the library has a way for you to like make that not jank, right? Because they're like, okay, we're just gonna charge you the price of the book because the book is yours now. You know, $30 for this book I never read. I'm like,
Yeah.
fine, whatever. You know.
But the library
They
is
have my
like,
card
you know,
information.
public. It's like a funded building. They have budget to give more books. This guy had 2 really good games
Yeah.
that he can't get again now because they're so expensive.
Yeah, but does the person actually care? Like that main
I would
first
care.
person.
You should
I
absolutely
feel like
care.
if you're lending a game to a friend of a friend, you don't really care about your games.
That is, Janet, I am so horrified. I don't think I've ever stolen anything in my life. And I worked at a grocery store for 2.5 years.
Well, it sounds like
Never
this person
stolen
didn't
anything.
steal it and they just like never gave it back. And they're like, oh
Same thing,
man,
same thing.
I guess I messed up. You
Yeah,
know?
you're keeping something that isn't yours. That is slow
Okay.
stealing.
Chat's out here like, oh my god, that's crazy. You're telling me you would lend a game that you cared about
Yeah.
to a friend of a friend?
Janet?
You tell me that
Janet,
right now? You're lending
if-
it out to friends of friends?
If I
I'm
may,
assuming
oh,
children.
go ahead.
I'm assuming these were children. I think we need to keep that in mind. Lending games out where you don't really know the distrust and the levels of like thievery that goes on when you give something away.
They were
Right.
teenagers. We have some clarification in the chat. Crowboy, did they ever ask for it back? Like, what happened? Did everyone
Yeah.
just forget? Because I feel like if everyone just forgot and walked away, it's like people hearing that care because they know those games and like the value of the game. But like those people might not care about that stuff. Like, not everyone cares about games the way that everyone here does. You know?
Janet, here's why I'm partial to the situation. I
That's his
really
foul, though.
got into games in a big way, and I discovered Final Fantasy VII, which blew my mind, one of the most mind-blowing experiences of my life, because I borrowed it from who would future become my best friend, Ronnie, through a friend of a friend. And I cannot imagine a situation. We would not have a best friend, Ronnie, to this day if I wouldn't have given that game back. That is
Average Snorlax says,
shameful.
hey, Janet, can I borrow some games? Sure, you can borrow Mario Golf, because I don't give a fuck if you give that back or not. It wasn't good.
This blasphemy on several levels. Sarah, can you believe this?
I
You're
think
telling me you're calling people up for Mario
you have to
No.
absolve these sins. You have to give them either give them back or donate them.
We
for
graduated
some
and everyone just
cause.
moved on. Yeah, I think this person just didn't really care like that. Like, I don't think it means that, like,
Yeah,
you should just keep stuff that you borrow from people, but, like, you probably forgot, they forgot. No one really cares in this story.
Yeah, they
except
do
for the
care.
people listening to the
If
story.
you reached out to them right now, if somebody reached out to you and said, hey, you borrowed me some games when we were like teenagers, and I know I'm not using that word correctly, but I'm going to stick to it because it's a Minnesotan thing and I learned it this way. You borrowed me some games as teenagers. They're worth $250 now. Like, that is... I think you would care. And if somebody said, hey, I'll now send you $250 because I stole this from you technically many years ago, I think you would care.
Like, none of those things are happening. Like, we're talking about an imagined reality here. Like, the reality is everyone just like, oh yeah, like, you know, it's weird. You lend me this thing, I never gave it back. Oh well, that's kind of messed up, I guess. It's like, yeah, it's not that deep.
All right. For future polls, maybe put it at 1 minute so you can keep rolling with it. Also,
Sure.
You keep up this type of wild call, Janet. Taking that mesh down. So help me God, I will take that mesh down. This is a threat for everybody at any moment. At any
expose
moment.
her.
All right.
Stop! I didn't do anything.
I'm just saying. I got the trigger. All right. Here we go. Okay. Grizzled Gaming confesses and says, I played the original Final Fantasy and I beat Final Fantasy 2 and 4, but Final Fantasy 3 and 6 is one of my favorite games of all time. I was obsessed with it. I put hundreds and hundreds of hours into it. I had every character. Oh, I see. Not 2 and 4. 2/4, 3/6. I'm just here. It's 4 and 6. Everybody, move on. Let the past die. Okay, here we go. So, okay. Let me start this again. I played the original Final Fantasy and I beat Final Fantasy 4. But Final Fantasy 6 is one of my favorite games of all time. I was obsessed with it, put hundreds of hours in. I had every character, every hidden item, and all characters were maxed out and had learned every spell. I could basically beat the final boss, Kefka, just by looking at them. All that said, I haven't played a mainline Final Fantasy game since then.
That's fine.
Yeah,
what
like
can
what?
I judge? My favorite Final Fantasy game is Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah.
I don't have a leg in this.
Yeah, I feel like that's almost like a cool, hip, modern take, Sarah. I feel like everyone is, if you're really playing
Liking
games.
Final Fantasy 14?
No, I think
Or
like
just not liking all the mainline Final Fantasy.
here's the thing. As a Final Fantasy fan, when people jump out there and they say, by the way, the best Final Fantasy, my favorite, it's 14. It's unimpeachable. It's just like, well, you're probably right. I haven't spent 700 hours waiting in a queue, but I'd imagine you're right if I committed my life to it in that way.
Yeah, it's
forgiven.
fine.
Forgiven.
Yeah.
Super fair.
This seems absolutely fair, Grizzled Gaming. Don't worry about that.
And also, the way Final Fantasy games are numbered, you could just tell me 6 was now, and I'd buy that. So I think you're pretty much in the clear.
6 is now.
7 Remake Part 2 could easily be called Final Fantasy 6, and no one would bat an eye.
Now, Janet, this is again where I threaten to kick you out of the church with that type of blasphemy, because that is outrageous.
Yeah, isn't one of them called like X-I or something? Like, come on, man, we're just making stuff up.
No.
Are you trying to slander 10-2?
Yeah,
Yeah.
The best Final Fantasy game with the number of 10? Like,
interesting.
That doesn't make the name good.
Yeah.
that's true.
The game could be good.
It
Game
should've
could be
just
good
been
and
said
name
better
could
than
be
the
not
original.
Here we go. Fair. 79%, which, by the way, I think this is how they do in the church as well. They just run up a quick Twitch poll.
They
Yeah.
poll.
good. Yeah,
Nothing
it's just
but
a quick casual fair foul.
It's a soul poll. I don't know who this is. Ooh, this is True Anonymous. By the way, I haven't read these ahead of time. I'm waiting for one of these just to be like, I murdered my father. Anyways, but this person's anonymous.
It's horrible.
They say, forgive me, mothers and fathers, for I have sinned. When I was younger, my brother and I got the new Pokemon games together and got the alternate versions. Everything seems fair so far. He was older than me and better
Fair.
at the game, so would often get way ahead of me in leveling and would purposely battle me just so he could stomp me and show off how good his Pokemon were. Fed up with this, in the middle of the night, I took his Game Boy and deleted his game. But not before I started 2 new games just so I could trade the other starters to myself.
Fair.
I somehow convinced him that he dropped his Game Boy off his bed, the top bunk, and that it had corrupted his save and that I had traded for the other starters at school. Needless to say, he never beat me again, but I always felt a little terrible for sacrificing his save to do it. This is a rough one.
That's super foul.
I think it's foul.
I judge it
that's one of
fair.
the worst things I've ever heard. There's stealing stuff, and again, and then there's gaslighting, convincing someone it's like actually you never had this. Like
Right.
No, this is messed up. I feel like too. A lot of y'all, I feel like now I'm like judging hardcore, so I don't want to make the person feel too bad. Some of y'all just need to talk to people. Have you told them that you don't find it fun to battle when the gap is so bad? Like this could have been fixed with like a conversation, I feel like. You know, is your brother out here like, no, you can't leave this room until you battle? Like, you know, what's the context where you have to fight this guy all the time? Like, I feel like you didn't need to do this.
That's true. I wonder, I mean, I think there's a difference between I'm a little bit annoyed that I always lose and there are tears in my eyes. I don't want to keep playing you, but you keep making me do it. Wow, foul by 81%.
Oh, yeah.
More people think this is foul than stealing the games.
Yes,
I admire
again, it's
the
more like
lengths
you
they
forgot
went
to
to.
return them, then you
Ugh.
stole it. It's not like I broke into his house and I like stole it and now I'm
Basically the
sitting
same
on
thing.
dozens
Basically
of
the same thing.
dollars.
I'm sorry.
It's so impressive though that he like in the middle of the night he got there, he took the Pokemon, he deleted the save, and then managed to convince his brother that it must have been corrupted.
Yeah.
I feel like the next level
Nothing but
psychopath part of that story too is the like first I traded all them off. Like it's some dark twisted like basement of a Resident Evil game stuff. This is like the house of whoever the hell. Like in the basement there's like a Game Boy there and people are just trading stuff unauthorized.
I wonder though, if it makes a difference for his judgment, like how far his brother was. You know, are we talking 151? Are we talking hadn't finished the game yet? I think that matters.
People said, do you guys not have siblings? I have an older brother and we're like really close. Like we're totally chill. We've never like done any mean stuff. Like we weren't hitting each other or deleting things or we were just friends. So yeah, I don't know. Shout out to having not a bad relationship there.
It works out well, yeah. And my sisters weren't really into games, so I didn't have to worry too much about that. It was a blessing on its own accord here. Okay, well, I mean, chat weighed in on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. One of my friends lent me Final Fantasy VII, and I fell in love with it. A few months later, we found out he was moving away, and he came by my house to play games. He asked if I had given Final Fantasy VII back, and I said, oh yeah, a while ago. I lied because I didn't know if I would ever find a copy of the game to play for myself and I hadn't finished it yet. And then he moved away. Eventually I did finish it, but didn't keep in contact with him to send it back.
See, that's foul. Because that is
Wait,
stealing
what?
it. That's
what?
stealing it. Yes, because again, y'all are so hung up on, oh my God, Skies of Arcadia, so good. Like,
yes,
no,
we are hung up on
borrowed
that.
Look, it doesn't matter. People aren't analyzing games like that. They borrowed it, they forgot about it. The person that lent it to them forgot about it, and everyone moved on. Like nobody, you know, if I gave someone, like I love Metal Gear Solid 2. If I lent someone Metal Gear Solid 2 and I legitimately forgot about it and they forgot about it, I'm not like hung up on that because I didn't remember and I did not care. This person was like, hey, did you give it back? They lied about giving it back. Like they, you know, there was active wanting the game back from the person that lent it.
I'm not saying this is fair. I'm saying this is a double foul situation. I just think it's in the same ballpark as the other person, but
they're related, but I think there's like key differences in like how the people feel and how the people act. Because the other one's like, oh yeah, like oh man, it turns out I never gave this back. Like,
yeah,
okay, but they also didn't care, so it didn't really matter. No one was hurt there.
Well,
your people are hurt.
Think about this. Think about too, like this poor kid had to move to probably a new school. I never had to do that, but I'd imagine it's a very stressful time in a child's life, and all he wants is the comfort of his dear friends, Red 13 and Kate Sith to hang out with, and this guy robbed him of it. He bet it was like a lot of him yelling at his parents for like, where's Final Fantasy VII? It's probably in one of these boxes around here somewhere, and they just could never find it. I think that added stress to a stressful child's life. Mm-hmm. And Kelsey Lewin sums up Janet Garcia's take by saying, stealing is okay as long as you don't lie about it.
Yes. Or if it's an accident, because I don't
No.
think I don't count not giving something back that you borrowed stealing, unless you like knew, like this person, this kid or whatever, knew they had it. They like did steal it. They lied about giving it back, like, you know, and then they never gave it back. They're like, oh, well, then I like it. It just has, yeah, it's foul, and then it could have been fixed, but then it never got fixed, and now that's it. Their lives in shambles now.
87% foul. Sarah, you haven't weighed in on this one.
You've been doing a lot of weighing over there. I would say this is a sin. This is foul.
Yeah, correct. Ian T. Clark confesses, I've got over 450 hours into Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I finished all the side and DLC quests, collected all of the armor sets, completed all of the shrines, and found all of the lost memories. I did this in both the normal mode and ultra hard master mode. My confession is, I have not yet collected all of the 900 Korok seeds or finished the trial of the sword in master mode. It's harder than any Elden Ring boss, I promise. I accept my fate and may I be judged accordingly.
So what are they missing in the game again?
The 900 Korok seeds and the trial of the sword in master mode. This is absolutely fair. Yes? Yeah. No? Am I nuts?
I mean, you're not like, did they give up?
I
Or
think
are
so.
they just like, did they just give up on it?
You've given this game so much of your time. Eremite weighs in correctly saying this is a humble brag. I think that might be it, Ian.
Well, here's the thing that I feel like maybe they're not putting in this thing. Like, I think it's totally fair. Like, honestly, anything you do in gaming is fair as long as you're not like hurting other. You know what I mean? It's your game. Like, maybe you don't want to finish it. That's fine.
Right. As long as you're
gonna
not
get all the
stealing.
seeds.
Right.
I guess the thing is, like, are you telling people you 100%ed it and you didn't get the seeds? Like, like, is that the, because otherwise I don't see what the point of contention is here. It's
I think they just feel guilt in their soul for not 100%ing this thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough too because you're kind of close. I feel like it's fair, but you should go back to find your own peace. So that's my comment.
Lay your soul to rest. Get those correct seeds.
Yeah.
Like how I'm at the final boss of this indie game called PID, but the boss was too hard and I never finished it. I think about that like at least once a month.
You're the only person that thinks of PID once a month. Was that like a? I think it looked really cool. I remember.
It was made by Mindlight. It was good, but it was stupid hard. But that was like 10 years ago that I played it. So maybe I'm a better gamer now and I can do it. I don't know.
90% fair on that one. So congratulations, Ian T. Clark. You've avoided damnation. Hunter confesses. He says, I'd like to share an after-school special moment from my life. There was a time in my life where I was very not much on the right track. In the stupor of bad choices, I sold my original Xbox, Xbox 360, PS2, and mini games. I regret this almost every day now. When I cleaned up, video games were a big part in bringing me back. Been working on getting back the important pieces. All the video game objects I get now, I cherish deeply. So selling all of his dear friends. Selling an Xbox, original, 360, PS2, and all of his games. Now, there's a subtext of it feels like sobriety in here, which is a tough one to wrangle in, but just the selling all of his childhood consoles. What do you think, Sarah?
I mean, it feels like, he regrets it.
Yeah.
And he's living with that weight.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he has to.
No.
I think he needs to let go.
Yeah.
I don't think you can hold on, especially to gaming memorabilia, especially throughout your life, like getting older, growing up and moving. I don't think you should punish yourself for that. For losing some, selling some. Like, who knows what the future brings?
That's right.
So forgive yourself.
You need to do that, Hunter. Just let it all go.
Mm-hmm.
And wherever your original Xbox is now, I'm sure it's doing great. It's probably in the White House, You never know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It went to college. It got a degree. It has a family.
Yeah, it went to Duke University. Oh, sorry. Pastors aren't supposed to applaud their own jokes. Okay. All right, that's 88% fair.
Yeah.
There we go. Janet, I assume you're on the same camp.
Yeah, okay. I think what you should do in the future is just tell the next generation to like make sure you don't let your kids like throw their stuff away, even if they don't think they want it. I still struggle with that now because I'm like, but do I need the Xbox One when the Series X is backwards compatible? And there's all of those things. So just don't make the same mistake.
There it is. This kind soul, this anonymous soul, but if you squint really hard, you can probably tell who it is. As I've gotten older, I suspect I might enjoy buying and collecting games, or talking about them or the industry more than I enjoy playing most of them. I also go out of my way to hide or set myself as invisible while gaming, because while I love all my gaming friendos, why oh why are they messaging me in the middle of this boss fight? I don't get that much time to do this. This is really the almighty one. Whether you enjoy...
How do I boil this down to like a question?
You can, I don't know, people can hear it. I guess you can just do fair or foul. I don't know if you need to like write out the question necessarily. But the core of it is they enjoy buying and collecting games and talking about them more than playing them. Look, I mean, as somebody who's devoted too much of my life to this whole thing, I think I'm kind of with you. Not the buying and collecting. I definitely enjoy talking about games more than I enjoy playing them. So
yeah, this is fair, but I feel like I'm biased because we all live the same lives.
yeah.
I also probably feel the same way about games, but that's more of a testament to how much I like talking and buying games than an indictment on how little I enjoy playing, if that makes sense. Like playing's super fun, but like I would be like so gutted if I wasn't like able to also just make content on it. Like yeah.
Right. Yeah, Phaedron in the chat says, I enjoy getting hyped for games rather than playing them. There's something to that. You definitely feel more alive.
I wish they had it as a separate sin though, because I like the I'm offline because I don't want my friends to talk to me. I feel like that's hilarious. I think that's also fair. I don't talk to anybody anywhere. Like once I find out someone can message me on something, I'm like, how do I turn this off?
Right.
Like
right. I think I would call this one fair. I think you're doing fine. Sarah?
My only thing is like the idea of collecting something.
Yeah.
Just to have, especially a game, where it's like you can't even like fully appreciate it if you're not gonna play it. That to me is a little suspicious, and it feels more like hoarding, like a dragon.
Right.
Like,
coveting
very,
items.
It's coveting. It's I don't know what to call it. Kind of a little. You're pushing a boundary there.
Right. I get it. 73% fair, says the community. Wow. All right. Clemens confesses, I was playing Civilization 6 with some friends. One of them was new to the game, and we were teaching them how to play. They left their settler unit unguarded, and I thought it would be a good learning opportunity for them if I stole it. But I didn't stop there. I wiped out their army, and we had to restart the game because they fell so far behind. I probably could have just told them to protect the unit instead of bullying them. They got their revenge a couple weeks later when he kicked my butt in Catan. So preying on the person who's new to the game in a multiplayer session. Foul.
Yeah, super foul. Like that's like a whack way to teach, and I feel like it came out of nowhere because they were like, we're teaching them, and then I thought, what if I teach them by being horrible to them? It's like that annoying friend who's like, well, you're like, oh my god, where's my phone? They're like, I stole it because you weren't paying attention. You always gotta stay sharp. It's like no one likes that guy.
Yeah. All right.
So same energy. Foul.
Yeah. Now, I've never been in one of these confessional booths, but isn't the idea that all of these sins are absolved?
Yeah, but that's not. We're on Twitch.
You're
so
right.
It's
You're
different.
right. I always forget that we're on Twitch. We're not in it.
All except for the mortal sins. I think the mortal sins can't get absolved.
Is that
like
right?
If you kill somebody. Yeah.
Wait.
I think you're stuck with it. I think.
But like every movie,
like...
they have like a murderer going in there and confessing that like.
I feel like I might be wrong. Am I wrong? Let me know. Like, there's no place to do that because I'm not kind of funny.
Interesting.
I'm slightly wrong. Let me know if you can. Yeah. No more. Yeah. By confession. Okay. Cool. Oh no, they are absolved by confession. Really?
I have a
Confused.
confession
That
to
doesn't
make.
seem.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna comment on that, but
Yes,
I don't
Sarah.
know how I feel about that.
Yes, Sarah.
No. It's not my mortal sins.
Wait.
No, I didn't watch
Nothing.
Exorcist 3, so maybe that'll fill in some gaps for me.
Foul 71%, by the way. So wow, that's bad. Don't mess with people when you're trying to teach them how to play a game. Everybody, that's the lesson here.
Because you could have just said the information. You know what I mean? Like you didn't need to like learn. You don't always need to learn by doing for stuff.
No, I get it. Bob Buell, holiest of holies, as he likes to be called, says, "Forgive me, cohorts, for I have sinned. When I was but a wee lad, my older sister was playing Pokemon Stadium on the Nintendo 64 home entertainment system. She was trying to beat the game on its hardest difficulty, Master Ball difficulty, after a tower of other trainers, if I remember right. And at the same time, I was trying to plug in another toy of some sort. I can't remember what it was. The outlet near the TV was full, with one plug being used for the N64 and the other was for a lamp. My sister told me to be careful because she saw me approaching the outlet and to make sure I was unplugging the lamp since she was so close to victory. I said confidently that I was sure this was for the lamp and proceeded to unplug the N64 and ruin her progress. She was rightfully furious. I could have waited till she beat it. I could have double-checked with which wire went to which, but I did none of these things. And I can't recall her ever playing Pokemon Stadium again. So I might have killed her passion for that game.
This is a mortal sin.
Yeah, for that game in this very moment. I accept any and all penance for my sins. Here's...
Straight to gamer hell.
How old was he in this story, too? Let me find out he was like 27 years old.
Well, yeah, that's tough. I mean, if we're talking peak Pokemon Stadium, I'm going to guess Bob Buell right now is 28 years old. So
I think they were kids in the story.
Yeah, I think so too. The fact that it wasn't intentional. I mean, is it a sin if it's an accident? I don't think so. Right?
Oh, really? So you think if it's an accident, it doesn't matter?
Yeah,
so
as long as you're
like
not
taking the.
That wasn't an accident. They deliberately didn't give it back. They deliberately stole it.
Star.
How dare Skies of Arcadia Legends? Show some respect.
Yeah, sure, whatever. It's all the same. Anyway.
This is.
Now I'm just messing with y'all. Okay, this is foul simply because of the additional warnings, I think.
Yeah.
Like, make sure, like, if you're gonna do it, and then I think, especially in the reflection that Bob Buell put up here, was like, look, I really could have just waited.
Right.
But I didn't.
I get it.
The hubris is what killed him.
He doesn't remember what the toy was, but just imagine it was some sick-ass RC car, just something great that he was eager to play with, and you gotta gun it for those plugs.
This isn't the only outlet in the house.
Maybe it was. We don't know.
There's not only one outlet in a house, Ben.
We don't know.
When you're unplugging key things, do people not go from the source item and like walk their hands down the wire? I feel like this should have never been a mistake.
Yeah, but that's an adult thing. Can you imagine a kid doing that? No way. No way. That's too much for a kid. That's too many expectations on a poor soul. Foul.
It's the extra warning that kills me, and then she never went back.
That is true.
You ruined her life.
Not even for like the lick-a-tongue licking mini game. Just nothing. She wouldn't have any of it.
She probably never played another Pokemon game ever again.
That's right.
Foul. Everyone says they're all the same.
Foul by 84%. Bob Backwards says it's getting warmer in this room. Oh, Bob. All right. Judgment Kazi. Hey, cool it, Kazi. Only one judgment coming around here, and it's the soul poll in Twitch. All right, Judgment Kazi says, this may be a bit too dark for the show.
Bring it on.
Hang
Bring
on,
it on.
Let me read it. Okay, skimming it, this seems fine. But then again, I didn't thoroughly read it. Here we go. Judgment Kazi says, in the game Crusader Kings 2, I was playing a Viking. One of the things that makes Vikings unique is that you can raid other countries for loot. Occasionally, you take other characters as prisoners during said raids. Usually, you can just ransom them back or sacrifice them to the old gods. However, during my mini raids, I managed to capture a bunch of children who were too poor to be ransomed. I didn't want to just kill them, so I thought the most ethical solution would be to keep them in prison until they were old enough to be considered adults and made them my concubines. A few months later, I learned what the term grooming meant, so what layer of hell am I being sent to for my crimes?
I think the game deserves to go to hell in this situation for us to do that.
Honestly, it kind of ups my respect for Crusader Kings. That's a hell of a gaming situation. Okay, so
is this the first one where we can decree a game goes to hell?
I think so. So Judgment Kazi's, they're fair, but Crusader Kings 2 and its developers are foul?
Straight to hell. Straight to fucking hell.
Oh my god. Heavens to Betsy, sir.
Okay, I can't spell Crusader Kings, but
yeah, don't worry about it. You
it's
got
so
it.
wrong. Yeah, I should put you're right, I should put the third option. Game goes to hell.
Oh,
I think it's definitely game goes to hell. I will say too, obviously there's like a lot of layers here that I ain't gonna touch all the layers that are in here.
Right.
But like, it sounds like the person didn't really know like the ways that was kind of dark, like additionally dark.
Yeah.
So, but fucking fair doesn't seem right either.
What the-
I feel like, again, like fair or foul, like, again, the game That needs to be updated. You know what I mean? That's a patch note. It's a patch note in the modern era.
But, I mean, surely Vikings back in the day ran into the situation of, oh, these children aren't worth anything. What am I supposed to do? I guess I'll keep them in the prison?
I think they just killed them.
Oh,
Well,
so that would have been better?
Alive, so they probably just killed them.
Would it have been
It's an
better?
extra mouth to feed.
So,
It'd be better, but in a very like Star Wars way. That
Star
doesn't
Wars?
feel great. You know, like the
younglings?
Yeah,
But
like,
what
oh,
if Anakin kept the younglings until they're old enough to be his concubines? Is that better or worse for Vader, do you think?
That's definitely worse. That's definitely worse.
He would have been further on the dark side end of the spectrum. He would have developed the lightning powers, I think, if he went that far.
I need to see his other ruling decisions to pass judgment.
Right.
Because if he was a cruel ruler, then it would have been better to kill them. But if he was a fair ruler and they got to live in comfort, it's like, well, what was your other options in the years of war?
Right.
You know, I need to see who they were as a ruler.
I feel like in those games, dark stuff's always happening anyway. Like people are out here like tormenting their Sims and stuff. Like it's kind of,
Yeah.
I don't know.
65% fair, says the community. I'll be damned.
Yeah.
Mike Lynch.
Uninstall the game, I think, after that.
Absolutely.
You know?
Mike Lynch writes in, I don't like turn-based RPGs. The story always draws me in, but the gameplay keeps me from ever finishing them. I nearly finished Child of Light, but that's the only one I got close with. I say there's no sin for not liking a genre.
I say that's fair.
I mean, who amongst us could cast the first stone, but there might be somebody here who's been bashing the concept of classic JRPGs left and right.
We all live in glass houses here.
That's right. That's right. So who can say? Who can say? I think you're fine, Mike Lynch. This seems like a straight up fair situation.
Why, Ben? I didn't because of my.
Why?
I'm sorry. Are you gonna tell me the writing in Final Fantasy VII is good?
No, but people know the difference between 6 and 7. It's a big difference,
can't.
Janet.
What's one number? What's the difference?
One number. How dare you? You're one letter away from Jane. Let's start calling you that.
Some people do. Have you seen the YouTube comments?
I guess so.
People adding extra letters in there. They're just doing their own thing.
Max needs to shut up.
Yeah, I think this is fair. I will say though, everyone who's voting fair, please like be mindful in your life going forward, because people always think it's fair until someone doesn't like their favorite turn-based RPG that they think is so special. It's going to be the exception. So
Right, and it is. There's no doubt about it. Hey, fair, 81%. Congratulations.
And those of you who voted foul better love every single game mechanic ever.
yeah, exactly. You must play everything.
Everything. No complaints.
All right, Bezlo. I haven't finished a game in years. The last game I played to completion was BioShock Infinite in 2013. I've played hundreds of games since and love playing games, but I haven't been able to finish anything in years. That's a long time. That is.
Depending on the games they play, though, it could be fair.
Well, if they're focusing on BioShock Infinite, if that's like our only reference point, like it seems like they probably like shorter, more story-focused games, but that's too much of a generalization, I'm sure. Boy.
I think it's fair, but it's weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, because again, like, you know what? If you're having fun like that, it's a little disturbing. Like, I don't like thinking about that. But like, I think it's fair. Like, you know, but decide if you like that life for yourself. Because since you're writing in, I'm wondering maybe you have some baggage over that.
I think they do.
So then I'd encourage you to find a game and beat it, just to break the streak.
Yeah, let's see. Go for Short Hike, Bezlo. That is your penance. Play through Short Hike or any other short experience. Just see credits roll and be free from this prison that you've built for yourself, please.
When said BioShock Infinite could make anyone stop finishing games.
How dare you?
That's so funny.
You.
No spoilers. I haven't played it yet.
Ooh, really? Do you think you're ever going to?
You don't have to.
I'm gonna say yes, because I really liked and I know they're like different, you know, games inherently, but like I liked BioShock a lot. I kept starting it. I just have never finished that either. So I could see myself just running through them if I like them.
Right. It's cool. It's a little bit too long and there's a little bit too much fighting, but I like everything weird about that game. I feel like it took some huge bold swings that people don't talk about enough. But fair, 79%. There we go. Duke Faison says, as Michael Jackson said, just beat it. That's true. Thank you, Duke. Fred confesses, I accidentally snooped on my Christmas presents the year the GameCube came out to find out that my folks managed to secure one. In my defense, I was getting something out of the back of my parents' car that they asked me to get, but must have forgotten that they hadn't taken the system out of the trunk. It's important not to stumble over confessions. I hammed up my surprise on Christmas, but I've always felt bad they couldn't see my genuine surprise when I first saw the gift. Oh, this is fair. What are you supposed to do?
That's fair.
Yeah.
And I wish you wouldn't carry that guilt on yourself.
Yeah.
Your parents should have done a better job hiding it. It shouldn't have just been in the trunk. Come on.
Also, the fact that you felt obligated to ham it up so that your parents would feel good about everything going on here, I think that's tilting you even further in the fair direction. Yeah.
I don't think you carry all the blame in this situation.
Right. Absolutely
Give
not.
yourself.
Yeah, also, you were helping them out with the groceries. You know? I think this is... You got to let it go, Fred. You got to... Trust me, you must let it go. Janet, you're going to come out strong, swinging in another direction here?
No, I think it's fair.
Okay.
You know, there's no good solution here because your only other option would be to say, hey, y'all, I saw my Christmas present already. Like, that's kind of not good either. I feel like that might actually be worse.
Correct.
So, yeah, you know, just lie and open your GameCube.
That's right, and enjoy it, and we hope you enjoyed your GameCube. And the chat, I would imagine, is weighing in, in a big way. Fair, 91%
Ooh,
fair.
this is the highest one.
That's huge. Then Tom was like, confesses, I think I may have destroyed my sister's internet in gaming. I'm sorry. Oh boy, I gotta learn to read. I think I may have destroyed my sister's interest in gaming by never letting her win. Ever. I wouldn't let her win at her own games either. Mary-Kate and Ashley's Sweet 16 Licensed to Drive, a PS2 clone of Mario Party, I've played that, was full of my high scores and her broken dreams. I'm committed to fixing this now, but her gaming passion will probably never be as high as it could have been. Shame on me, but also, I'll destroy anyone at that Mary-Kate and Ashley game. Very good. Very good. I'm glad you say that. I once went to a party, a very hip party, and they were playing Mary-Kate and Ashley Sweet 16 Licensed to Drive on the TV. And I was like, what? I'd never seen it before, but it's unbelievable. This seems rough. What do you think?
I don't believe you should let people win.
Right.
But I think maybe you had a bad attitude about winning with her. So I think maybe it was more about your gloating attitude that you were beating probably your younger sister at her games. And it had less to do with the fact that she was continuously losing.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same camp as Sarah. Like, I don't know if I'd pick fair or foul for this. I guess I'd go foul in the sense that I think, again, the attitude probably played the role, but I don't think you need to let people win when you play games with them. Like, my brother never let me win in a game. What we just did to try to even things out if they were uneven is like when we played Madden together, like he loved Madden. I don't know what football is, so that was hard. But he played with like the worst team in the league and I played with the best team in the league. And that made it competitive because like that kind of evened it out. And I feel like some of y'all don't have the empathy or understanding to like think of doing that like with your sibling or even with anybody else. Like in general, I always play as hard as I'm gonna play for anything, but like, you know, trying to help people out or like
he should
do different buffs and debuffs. Like there are ways to even the playing field. Like, you know, some of you are out here dunking on your 4-year-old cousin and it's like, you don't really need to do this. Like there's a middle ground. So he should have played as either Mary-Kate or Ashley to even it out? Like which one is the clearly overpowered, the OP Olsen? I don't know. And it is tough because I feel like back in the day, especially, there weren't like a lot of games that facilitated that. Again, I'm guessing you were just a jerk about it. How many people in the United States do you think total could tell the difference between Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen? 14. I think that's right. It was quite foul, by the way, with the poll. 70% foul. Oh, someone said I wasn't. The chat. I don't know if this is the writer. I wasn't a jerk. Okay. I'm gonna take your word for it, but I don't know. Tough. Like my question then, obviously we don't have like the whole hour spent on this, but how did you know that you like affected her interest? Maybe you didn't affect her interest in gaming and she just was never that into gaming. That's also totally possible. But you seem to get a sense that you had like power in that dynamic. So I'm wondering like why you think that, you know, but anyway.
Absolutely. Evan One Sonic confesses, not technically a confession, but I love the Kingdom Hearts series. So much so that I wrote an unreleased book on the story of each game in the series. Every title is great, with Kingdom Hearts 3 being one of my favorite games of all time. Am I forgiven for loving this weird Square series? I'm sorry, Evan One Sonic, but I cannot forgive you.
First of all, I think Ben should read it.
Oh, new Patreon goal, read Evan One Sonic's Kingdom Hearts book. This is sad, says Aramite.
This is like you get to go to purgatory. You get to go to purgatory for this.
Right, and with Hades right next to you, though. It's just right there waiting for you, with James Woods ready to go. I'm curious, I think there's a big gap here for the books if they are nonfiction or fiction. If it's about the development and the impact of the games versus if it's about like, and then Mickey withdrew his shiny saber and with the thrust of the dagger plunged it into Ariel's heart, or whatever those games are about. So this is a strong foul on my end. I'm sorry.
What?
It has to be. I'm sorry. It has to be this way.
How can you say that while also saying like you can play and like games however you want? Like how do those two things exist at once?
Because every time I say that, there's a gigantic asterisk the size of Jupiter with the words Kingdom Hearts behind it. It's the one series.
So you don't like Kingdom Hearts?
He doesn't like Kingdom Hearts.
I don't like Kingdom Hearts.
He's actively not like Kingdom Hearts. It's more that now I have to live with this.
Right.
So in a way, it's foul now that I have to know about it.
Yeah, it's not fair to us.
So like, people are like, oh, this is Kingdom Hearts. Like, I don't know. There's like bad things that people love all the time. Like, what is, what's the difference? Like,
Kingdom Hearts is the difference.
It's just better. It's just like, what, because Disney's involved? Is it because it says Mickey Mouse in it? That's the last straw for people?
It's actually, you guys, if you think about it, quite impressive because I played those games and I have no clue what the story was. So it seems like Evan actually wrote the story. And I can't imagine like the brain power you would need to have to kind of like parse the story from the madness that is Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, that is impressive.
It's also very impressive.
So
yeah, it's very impressive.
I might play it for the first time this year. I'm debating making it like a community goal because my boyfriend really wants me to play it. Like he likes Kingdom Hearts. Well, the same way other people who... This is the first person who says they just like the game, I would say. So congrats on making history because every Kingdom Hearts fan I meet is like, never touch this. I hate myself and I hate the thing I love. Like I've never heard anyone just say, I just love it. I think it's great. So good for you. Super fair.
60% fair is where the community landed. I mean, Leafeon gets to the core here saying the sin here is not releasing the book. That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
That's true.
Captain Cobblepot says, my lifelong friend and I had been playing Minecraft for a couple of years in our survival world, obsessively building cities, castles, and underground bases. He always liked to explore and collect rarer items, sometimes spending hours away from our shared base.
I don't like where this is going.
Me neither. I hate this already. I preferred to build out structures with evenly layered and decorative pieces. I also loved to make hidden rooms. My favorite being a lava fireplace that when you pressed a button in our living room behind a painting, it would activate pistons to compress the lava, dousing it. This revealed a secret stairwell that led to a redstone-coated switch door on the bottom. This base was amazing. Well, no sin here. I soon discovered my friend had a secret room of his own, keeping that a secret from not other players but me. Storing thousands upon thousands of diamonds and rare finds. He had full sets of armor, weapons, materials, and a massive amount of potions. I soon discovered that he was using a duplication glitch in our survival world to reap the rewards.
That's foul.
I was furious. So, I did what any rational person would do. I broke the fireplace, flooding our 3-month-long base build with lava, burning everything in that base to a crisp. We're still bros now, and this was like 10 years ago, but still, am I forgiven since he committed his gaming sin first, or is mine worse? This is a classic eye for an eye.
This is an eye for an eye.
Sarah,
eye for an eye,
oh
but
my God.
this is forgiven. This is fair.
Really? Because you were bracing for impact.
For the sheer drama of it.
Right.
Of breaking your fireplace to like they both went down. He built that.
Yeah.
He loved it, and they both went down. They went down together.
Right.
There's like not even a way to compress this. I had this as I burned down the base because Minecraft friend hoarded.
Yeah, that's
like,
it.
I don't know. Though it doesn't get to y'all heard it, so it's fine. But again, I feel like a lot of these things could just be solved with a quick conversation. But I do think it's like it's initially foul on the friend for not like talking about the stuff, though I also don't know their setup in their Minecraft world. Maybe it's like everyone does their own thing and they only share some resources. Like, I feel like, are y'all told each other everything you ever made? Like, I feel like, I don't know.
Think there's an implied cooperation. You're working together. That one dude says in the chat, having a private loot room in Minecraft is fine, but duping on a shared server is whack. Burn it down. So, I mean, if you're agreeing to burn it down, then I guess that's fair. That's a fair self-destruction. You're taking each other out at this point. I think is the way it has to be. Fair, 63%.
Yes, thank you, chat. It has been. They had corrupted the world, and they had to burn the corruption.
That's right. That's right. I mean, Leafeon asks, has Ben still never played Minecraft? I play Minecraft. I love Minecraft. I mean, I say I play and love Minecraft.
What's your favorite thing to play?
I love Minecraft.
I love it. I love it. I mean, I say I love it. I probably put 120 hours into it total, which feels like chump change for Minecraft.
And as somebody who's played on like shared friend servers,
How
like things
dare
getting
you.
burned down, like it happens.
No, never.
There's
Never.
always some sort of like, people are taking shots at each other.
That's true. Actually, I was just talking this last week about when we played Minecraft, I was playing with Ronnie, and one time he was mining and had a bunch of diamonds and all this stuff, and I left my game running so he could still play in our server on PlayStation 4 and stuff. And then I had friends over, and he didn't come for whatever reason, but he wanted to play from his house. So I just had it up on the TV, and I got to see Ronnie mining the diamonds. And then, because I thought it'd be funny, I then knocked out some blocks and killed him in lava deep beneath the earth, and he lost all of his good stuff as everybody at the party just laughed in horror.
Foul.
It is
That's
foul.
horrible.
It was bad.
That's a mortal sin.
It was bad. It was bad.
Remove
You should
your
be sitting here
screen.
and yes.
Expose yourself and your
No,
sins.
not the screen, not the
Expose
screen.
yourself.
Ah! Porn Curly writes in, I was a 12-year-old boy in World of Warcraft and pretended to be an 18-year-old woman. Eventually, my brother met some people in my guild and spoiled the beans.
Wait, in what? In what
In
game?
WoW. This is interesting. This could go a bunch of different directions. There's a lot of implied
Was he
stuff.
using the powers of being a woman to extort
Ooh.
money and items from other players?
This is like one of my friends. Someone I knew. I don't know what I'm calling my friend. I don't know. Now I'm getting dragged down with them. Where they had like a similar situation where they were like a dude and they were like pretending to be a woman in this game, and they were getting like all this like crazy furniture, and they were basically like pimping themselves out for all this stuff as like their fake woman persona. I'm gonna say foul because I think it's foul in general when you're like, I'm not me, unless it's like a normal thing, like an identity thing. Like, maybe if you're, 13 or 18, you just pick like a more innocuous age, like 22 or something like that, like that's fine. But like anything that's like, I'm trying to be a different person.
I don't know.
For some type of gain is weird.
I say fair. I say fair. Like, it's an online game. Let them say they are whoever they,
Then are you secretly a 37-year-old woman in WoW?
I'm not going to remove this mesh. I'm not
to.
going to tell you. But I don't know. I think it depends on what you're doing with it,
It's okay for guys to have like female avatars.
Yeah, you can do
like,
whatever
that's fine.
avatar.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Like you,
But
the
if you're
player.
using that avatar to extort money, items, and favors from people who think you're a woman, that's foul.
Yeah, because they said they're posing as a woman, not that like I play as a woman. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's different. Like,
Now
you can be whatever avatar you want. But
just to play devil's advocate, by the way, 77% foul. What would be wrong with if people want to give gifts to somebody they think is a woman in a game? Who's hurting there?
because you're a liar.
Wait. Okay.
You're misleading someone
Yeah,
with
you're lying.
the intent to benefit from it.
Okay. Rock Party confesses. In college, I borrowed the gold version of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time from a friend and never returned it. He asked for it back a couple of times, and I said I forgot it.
Well, we know where Janet stands on this.
No,
Foul.
again, thank you, because he asked for it back. It's not hard to ask for your stuff back.
I don't think I meant to keep it, but I don't feel really bad about it. Also, a few weeks ago, I got the DLC for Risk of Rain 2. Instead of playing hundreds of hours to unlock everything, I edited the save file and got all of the achievements and special unlocks. I've played 0 hours of it since. I think you're clear for the second.
You are just a psychopath. You're living in some weird Dante's You're a fucking psycho mode over here. Little sicko.
I'd say foul, then shifting into fair for these 2 points. So cumulative
Absolute
foul.
Sicko.
Yeah. For the DLC thing, for the Ocarina thing.
Well, it was the Ocarina thing that they were like, oh, I lied, but I was like, and then I forgot about it, and then and then I got Risk of Rain, went through the process of editing my save to unlock everything just to not play it.
Right.
What was the point?
It is a bit much. Ray Loaza says, I'm scared of being in the same Discord as this sinner.
There's no fairness here.
Yeah, that's tough. Ooh, Ocarina of Time as well.
I want to throw out that like 30 minutes ago, someone in chat said that I borrow games and I don't return them. I've never actually borrowed a game from anybody. So other than like
I also have
within
never
my own
bought
house,
borrowed.
like my brother's games, and we'd get, I have not gone. I didn't grow up knowing any other gamers. I only had my brother. Like no one else I knew played any games. So
this is unbelievable here. We got foul at 100%. It has never happened in the history of Twitch
Claps for
polls.
the sinner.
Yes.
Ultimate sinner.
That is unbelievable. I'm sorry.
There were people too. Like it's not like there were like 3 people there. It's like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I am sorry, Rock Party, for what this has become. But we have a winner. Winner, winner, sinner, dinner, as they say. Hey, that's it, everybody. Oh, I'm sorry. We haven't heard from our dear friend Muriel yet. They've been building up. They're just ready to weigh in on the first confession. So let's hear what Muriel has to say. The almighty Turtle Pope himself. It's making strange noises. Not sure what he's doing here. He's scurrying closer to the mic. Muriel, please.
Is that actually what it sounds like?
This is the sound of a turtle casting their judgment. All right, I'm sorry, everybody. Hey, that's it. Thank you so much, everybody. You can vote for more gaming confessions to happen next week by supporting us on Patreon. If you enjoyed the show, you can help support the show and spread the word about the show and all that fun stuff. Patreon.com/MinnMax with 2 N's. We appreciate it, and maybe we'll see you back next week because we still have more gaming confessions to go through that we haven't gotten through yet. So if you're watching this and wondering how do you add yours to the mix, you can jump in the Discord by supporting us on Patreon and add it there. Janet and Sarah, anything you'd like to close with?
This is great. This is super fun. I like doing this. Thank you for submitting your sins.
Give your friends their games back.
Yes, everybody give your friends the games back. All right, thank you so much, everybody. Bye. Every week, we let Patreon supporters choose which new show we create with New Show Plus. Should we create another episode of the show you just watched? Check out the biggest new game release? Get into Sea of Thieves? Create an exercise show? It is your call. So thanks to everybody who subscribes on YouTube or supports us over on Patreon. MinnMax exists because of you. As always, if you enjoy MinnMax content, any help telling a friend is appreciated.